Hey everybody, it's just Kristen Chavis. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome, child. And if you're a returning subscriber, I'm so glad that you are back here with me on today. All right, y'all, let's get into it.
It's another one for real. K Chavis, I call you for real because you the truth.
All right, guys, it's been a minute, but we're going to hop back into it. We're going to talk about the dreams that I've had previously that I shared with you guys concerning the January 6th insurrection, what that means to us today, the bill that was passed, that was denied, the bill that was denied, and also all of these mass shootings that's going on. And I'm going to throw a symbol in there. 1 month, I just kept dreaming about penises. I mean, what's up with that, Lord? All right. So over this past week, there was a bill that was trying to get passed in the Senate concerning investigating the January 6th insurrection. And of course, that bill was denied. And that bill was denied because of the filibuster. Filibuster basically is for anybody to get up and basically dispute a bill that's trying to be passed. Well, now you can filibuster without even being in the room. You can basically like send an email or a text and say, hey, I don't want this to go through. Obama mentioned that this is a Jim Crow relic. Basically, this is something that was used during the time of segregation to prevent bills that would actually help people from going through. Okay, so it's like a racist relic or something like that. So this week I was listening to Al Sharpton, and I usually don't listen to Al Sharpton, but I was listening to him, and he was talking about Memorial Day coming up and what that means for people in this nation, what that means for people of color. And he was talking about the bill that was denied, and he was like, I want y'all to understand what this means. And he said for it not to go through, where our nation was under attack by its own people, where our nation, our own lawmakers had to go into hiding, where the vice president of the United States of America was being hunted so that he could be lynched. And this bill was denied to investigate into that. What does that mean for this country? And he said it's so simple and plain, and affirmed what I had said. He said, this lets me know that this was an inside job. And you can go back and watch my video where I released a dream where I saw the Lord had warned me about the insurrection. And I saw this dream where there were ducks that were being let through and over the wall. And it was this lady that actually let them in. And as I was releasing the dream, the Lord said it was an inside job. Okay, so fast forward almost 5 months later, now I'm hearing on the radio while I'm like cleaning, Al Sharpton coming to this conclusion as well, that this was an inside job, confirming and affirming what I said and what the Holy Spirit had already said. Why? Okay, this was a nonpartisan bill. This wasn't about Republicans. This wasn't about Democrats. This was just about the American people. This was just about protecting America, period. But it was made into something that was partisan or bipartisan, and it didn't have to be that. It was just independent because everybody's life was at risk that day. Everybody's life was in jeopardy that day. So for a person to vote against it, it's like, what's the point? What are you trying to hide? So because of this, if you go back and if you read news articles from reliable sources, you will see that it proves that the big lie that Trump has pushed in the past, the big lie that the election was stolen from him, has fully enveloped the Republican Party. And that's really sad. That means that whatever they vote for or they don't vote for is always in the shadow or in the voice, or it's like he's puppeteering what's going on in the Senate, even though he's not in office. Now, my theory is that He has to have some sort of dirt on these people, that these people are being manipulated. They are in fear of what could be exposed about them, of what could be said about them that may not even be true. But you know, once you put something out in the media, people believe it. So if you don't vote according to what he favors or according to what Trump favoring, then you may be punished. Even though you know your life was at stake in that moment, you still are like, no, what do I have to do to protect my family? And I feel like that's a terrible place or a terrible position to have to be in, where you have to vote against your truth in order to protect someone else's lie. My. So I know this will make some people upset or make some people mad, because even when I released that dream that it was an inside job, it still made people upset, which I really don't care. And if you got a problem with what I'm saying, baby, go to somebody else's channel. But this is what is happening in America. And I haven't had any more dreams because there are still things being played out from the three dreams that I've had. The dream about the insurrection with the ducks. The dream where I saw people standing, I saw Trump's face, and I saw people standing in a circle with assault rifles. And then the third dream where I saw it was different types of people, different types of groups of people. They look like extremist groups. And Trump was on a stage sitting in like a chair, like it was his throne or something like that. And there were like microphones down on the floor, like it had something to do with the media. And there were these different types of people, and you can go back and watch this stream. But now as I'm seeing more and getting more revelation, I understand that these are different types of extremist groups or terrorist groups that feel like they should be vigilantes for America, because there was no true discipline, there was no true repercussions for attacking our own government and its system. So what we're going to experience is this stuff backfiring. How is it backfiring? Did you know that over the past weekend, not this weekend, but the weekend before that, May 23rd on up, there were 12 mass shootings across America in a weekend? 12, not counting the ones that happened after that. And 12 in one weekend in many different states. And for something to be considered a mass shooting, there has to be at least 4 people injured, or 4 people that have one person has died, or 4 people that have been shot, or 4 people that have died. So 12. If you've been following me, if you've been watching my videos, I told you that this was just the beginning, and that these people that were QAnon supporters, people that believe that the far right are holier than thou, these people were going to try to take these matters into their own hand, but they really want a civil war. They want another civil war, really, so things can go back to antebellum, back to the times that it was. Because they feel like they are the vigilantes for Christianity, for the Lord. And it is really a skewed perspective, because God does not want us to be separate. And God has given us all our own free will. If that's what you choose to do, baby, that's what you choose to do. But he's given our own free will, and it's not for us to try to judge others and try to put others in their place or make people believe what you believe. That's not even the whole point. That's not what this country was built on. It was for freedom. Okay, but as I told you guys before, the dream where I told you guys where I saw the brides on the White House grounds, and I saw Trump stomping his wife's shoe, and I said, this is America. And he did not stop stomping this shoe until it broke. And for all of the things that has happened, even with January 6th and stuff that's happened even past that, it is evidence that America, our democracy, has been at stake and has broken in many facets and is slowly raveling away. There are people that are fighting to make sure that the principles and the beliefs that our founding fathers had stay in place. But there is a war. There is a war that is ripping at the fabric of our democracy. And what do I mean by that? There are people, if you had people that were willing to attack its own country and government because of what one man said, that's how you know that this thing is under attack and is raveling quickly. And this bill not being passed, that was supposed to be nonpartisan, that was supposed to not even be just so much caught up on what party is what. It was just for all people and just to know. It was for the American people so that we can know what truly happened. And for people to vote against it, not just a few people, but majority of them voted against it, that lets me know that you got something to hide. And that lets me know that you can't even be trusted by the people that put you in office. The people that went to the polls and voted for you, they can't trust you because you're not going to vote because you're being shook down. You're not going to stand up for what's right because you're being shook down. What you're going to do is you're going to cower because of what you're afraid they may say about you. And that's etching and killing and stabbing and annihilating democracy at its finest. Because if this couldn't be passed, something that had nothing to do with parties, something that really didn't have nothing to do with religion or gay rights or civil rights, all it had to do with was, is the truth gonna come out? So if we can't even get a unanimous vote with that, some people are afraid that things that may be coming up that are really important, it's not saying that this wasn't important, but that are major, you kind of get a sense that you already know what's going to happen. And that's really unfortunate. And that's why I told you to pray for this current administration, because there's a lot of stuff on their hands and there's a lot of things going undercover that we may not even see or understand until we're in our 50s or 60s, or even till we're dead and gone, where this stuff comes out, where people really investigate into this, what's really and truly going on. Because even though Trump is out the White House, his claws are still in those people that are still in those seats. In my opinion, the whole thing needs to be swept out. But that wouldn't be democratic, right? Because these people were elected into a position and they didn't scream, oh, I was cheated, or they cheated me and now they have a seat. No, these people were rightfully elected into a position, okay, to represent their state. And what are they doing about it? In my opinion, these people need to be replaced. And honestly, in the future, people need to have, I think they need to do mental evaluations. That's what I think they need to do. I think there needs to be mental evaluations for people that are going to run for an office. And also, we need to do bias training. Because a lot of people make decisions based on their own bias. And we don't need people in there that's biased. We need people that's going to uphold and get understanding for people that you may not necessarily agree with it, but you're going to do what's right. That's what we need. That's what we need in this day and hour, in this situation, and in this country. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was in 1 month, I had a lot of dreams where I was seeing male genitalia. And if you are a prophetic seer or if you're a dreamer, of course, if you see these types of things, it may alarm you. But it's not for you to be alarmed. When you see a phallus or anything phallic in nature, think about what it's used for. It's used for reproduction, it's used for sexual pleasure, but what else could it represent? So if we go to the word, when, let's go to Genesis, Adam and Eve, they didn't have any clothes on. And they didn't have any clothes on until they ate the forbidden fruit and they realized that they were naked. Okay, so me seeing someone naked in a dream, whether it's male or female, will let me know that there's some sort of vulnerability going on right here, to be uncovered, to be ashamed, not even to be confused, but definitely some vulnerability there. Even if you see someone's backside, their bottom, their butt exposed, it lets me know the mindset of that person. This person is not only vulnerable, but something skewed is going on there. Many times in the word, if a man's hind part was exposed, that means that they were being embarrassed, or it was something shameful. So a lot of times if you see someone's hind part, think about it literally, that they're showing their tail. Okay, and if you're from the South, somebody say you showing your tail, that means that you are showing out. You're doing something you don't have no business doing. So if you see a person that you know in your dream, and their butt is out, it's halfway out, they got on some booty shorts, or maybe their butt is out completely, that means that they are in error. They are showing their tail, and there's some sort of correction that needs to happen, or you need to pray for that person. Now, if you're seeing the front part, if you're seeing the penis area, there's some sort of vulnerability happening there. Also dealing with the mindset, because nobody would in their right mind go outside with no drawers on. But if they do, usually a person would be labeled as mad. So if you see somebody and their genitalia is out and it's a male, it's probably God letting you know that whoever this person represents to you, it may be showing that there's something skewed going on. The thinking of that person is wrong. It's some sort of error going on, where it goes with some sort of error going on as far as their mind or their heart's posture. That's what I'm seeing. Like, a person could be doing something and they have no clue that they're in the wrong, right? They have no clue that they're in the wrong until it's corrected. So if you're seeing like your husband or a male that you know and they're naked and you see their front part and you really don't want to see their front part, look at what they may represent to you. If it's not your husband, if it is your husband, know and look in and know that maybe whatever their thinking is about a certain situation, or they may be in a situation that they probably don't have no business being in, but they don't know it's wrong. Okay, so it doesn't mean that they're cheating or anything like that, but it may mean that they in some stuff that they don't need to be in. Okay, so if you keep seeing people naked, I'm just like, Lord, why? But that's just what it is. And I'll give you an example. So I had talked with somebody, I prayed with this person, and they was just telling me what they had going on, and we prayed, and then I end up seeing them at the end of my bed, and they were biting at their foot, like pulling dead skin off of their foot with their mouth. And this person ended up not having any clothes on. And I was just like, okay. First things first, your feet represent your walk with Christ, your walk in life, period. So you wouldn't remove the skin from your feet with your mouth, okay, unless you have been verbally attacking yourself or you're under some sort of verbal assault, okay. But naturally, an adult would not put their feet in their mouth. So that also lets me know that there's some backwards thinking going on there as well. But for that person to be naked as well, it lets me know that this person is vulnerable and that there's a lot of war going on in this person's mind. And they in a situation that you may not necessarily be able to help them out of, but you can definitely continue to pray and pray them through. Okay. And this person that was at the end of my bed that I had counseled beforehand, they ended up leaving with a bunch of naked people, or people that were half naked on these little motorcycles. And I believe in this dream, the Lord was letting me know, like, yes, you prayed, you counsel with this person, but this person's still gonna do what they want to do. You know, because you can pray for people, you can pray spirits off of people, you can sense that they were set free, but ultimately some people are gonna go back and pick up them demons when you get through, because they are used to them. They don't want to let them go, you know. So it's nothing that you've done wrong. That's just what it is. It is what it is. That's people's choice. People choose to do what they want to do, and that's just how life is, you know. So don't get frustrated if you spent all that time with that person, praying for them, prophesying and all this stuff, and you see that they were getting better and then they turn around and get worse. Just shake the dust off your feet, child. You did what you could do. All right, keep praying for them. Eventually down the road, they'll come out of it. But because some people have been in something so long, especially if they grew up like that, if they grew up in a situation like that, it's hard to let old habits go. And that's just the plain truth. That's just facts. All right, this is your girl, Just Kristen Chavis. I'm so glad that you guys were here with me on today. I'm so glad that we got a chance to recap on everything. If you get a chance, go back and check out some videos. I have some raw vegan videos out there. So Auntie Franny, Uncle Elvin, Shaquan, LJ. Y'all check those out. Let me know what you think. I love you guys. Oh, and also remember, if you want to hear an encouraging word, I'm on Facebook Live and Instagram every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Make sure you tune in. I love you guys. Follow me on TikTok, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.